Moadim lesimha, hagim zmanim lesason. We're going to be doing now the Gemara actually for Tuesday of Parashat Kedoshim, since Tuesday is going to be a Yom Tov, and we won't be able to record. So we'll do now the Gemara for Tuesday of Parashat Kedoshim, Chok LeYisrael. Tenina le'ad etanu Rabbanan. We learned what the rabbis taught. Ha'av chayav bivno lemulo. A father is obligated to circumcise his son, velivdoto, and to redeem him if the son is a firstborn, and firstborn normally not through a C-section, and it's a boy. We have the obligation to redeem him from the Kohen. The father has the obligation to redeem him from the Kohen. Ulamedo Torah, and a father has also an obligation to teach his son Torah. Ulasio Isha, and he has an obligation also to marry him off, to help him find a wife, and to assist in getting him married. Ulamedo umanut, and a father is also obligated to teach his son a craft, a profession, a way to earn a living. V'yesh omrim af le'ashito b'mayim, and some say that a father is also obligated to teach his son how to swim. In other words, this is something that is important for the safety of the son, that the son should know how to swim. Especially in California, for instance, we have many swimming pools. It's really very irresponsible to have a swimming pool, not to have a fence around it, and not to teach your kids how to swim. So he is obligated to teach his son how to swim. Rabbi Yehuda omer, kol she'eno melamed et beno umanut, melamido listut. According to Rabbi Yehuda, a person who doesn't teach his son a craft or a profession or a way to earn a living, it is as if he was teaching him robbery. Why? Because if he's not able to earn a living, he's going to maybe be tempted to be involved in improper activity to earn the money, and that would be wrong. So it's as if he was teaching him listut. Listut salka da'ata. You mean he's teaching him like to be a robber? No. Ela ki'ilu melamdot listut. It is as if he gives him no other alternative but to go for earning money not in an honest way, because he didn't teach him how the profession. How do we know that a father is obligated to do a circumcision for his son? Because it says that Abraham did the circumcision for Yitzchak, his son. And if his father did not circumcise him, then the rabbinic court is obligated to make sure that this child gets circumcised. Because the pasuk says, every male among you shall be circumcised. So even if it's not the father, among you, the community that has that responsibility. Then what about if the rabbinic court did not take care of making sure that he gets a circumcision? Then when a person grows up, and he's obligated himself to make sure that he gets circumcised. There's a pasuk here in Shemot that says, and an uncircumcised male will not circumcise the flesh of his olah. That soul shall be cut off. In other words, he has the obligation to make sure that he gets his circumcision if his father didn't do that. And if he's the community not make sure that he gets circumcision, once he grows, he's older than 13, he should already, as becomes an adult and able to do that, he should look for doing circumcision. And really, many of the Russians that came to Israel, some years ago, who were not able to do Brit Milah, Israel or other countries, while they were in communist Russia, even at a later age, they got their circumcision in the countries they came to. Okay, Rivdot Menalan. How do we know that a father has an obligation to redeem his son if he's the firstborn? The pasuk says, Kol bechor banecha tivdei. The firstborn of your children, of your sons, you shall redeem. And if his father did not redeem him, then he's obligated himself to redeem himself. Like the pasuk says, Pado tivdei. Pado tivdei. You shall surely redeem. You redeem. In other words, if he was not redeemed by his father, he should redeem himself. How do we know that the father has an obligation to teach his son Torah? The Pasuk says, you shall teach your sons. But if his father did not make sure that he get proper Torah education, he's obligated himself to go and learn and find a teacher and a rabbi to learn and to continue learning even in his adulthood if his father did not make sure that he gets Torah education. Like the Pasuk says, and you shall learn. How do we know that a father has an obligation to make sure that the son gets married? The Pasuk says, Kehu nashim ve'oridu banim u'banot ukhu livnechem nashim. The Pasuk Yirmiyah says, take a wife, get married, and take for your sons and wives. How do we know that a father is obligated to teach his son a craft or profession? אמר חזקיה, דאמר קרא ראה חיים עם אישה אשר אהבת. אישה משהי כשם שחייב להשיאו, כך חייב ללמדו אומנות. So the Pasuk says, seed, חיים is livelihood, okay? So, ראה חיים עם אישה, see to a livelihood with a wife with whom you love. So in other words, the wife and livelihood is mentioned in the same pasuk. Same way that a father is obligated to help his son get married, he's also obligated to teach him and get him to have a profession. If the word chayim is referring to Torah, then the same way that he's obligated to teach him Torah, he's also obligated to teach him a craft. Some that say he has to teach him how to swim in the river also. What's the reason? You know what's the reason? Because that's for his life. In other words, his life depends on it. If he doesn't know how to swim, he might sink. Rabbi Yehuda said, a father that doesn't teach his son a craft, as if he was training him into robbery. So, and the Tanna Kama said also that he has to teach him a craft or profession. So what is the difference between Rabbi Yehuda and Tanna Kama? You know what's the difference? If he teaches him how to do business. If he teaches him business according to Tanna Kama, that's good. That's good enough. But according to Rabbi Yehuda, it's not enough to teach him business. You should teach him also a craft, a profession. Because sometimes business could be a little bit dangerous, you know. A place, let's say, where there is agriculture, there is industry. Rabbi Yehuda felt that maybe commerce will be too risky. It's better that he knows also a craft. In case business gets a little tough, because there's ups and downs. You can fall back always on a profession, on something, you know, that everybody needs, a craft. So that's why Rabbi Yehuda disagrees with Tanna Kama. Tanna Kama would hold that even just regular business, teach him how to buy and sell, is good enough. According to Rabbi Yehuda, no. It's okay to teach him to do business, but he should have an extra...
Business is also a craft, you know.
Yeah, well...
You teach business in school, business school.
Correct, yes, correct. But then he's like, he has a profession as a... something that he's working. But business, sometimes it could be risky. People make investments, can lose money. You can make a lot of money in business also. But sometimes Rabbi Yehuda considered to be a precarious situation. You know what? Have the business, but have always a profession, and you could learn accounting, you could learn different things that don't necessarily mean that it's only craftsmanship using your hands. It could be like being a bookkeeper. That's also something that you could fall back on in case, you know, business gets tough for whatever reason.
Want to go to college, so why we do bado?
Once you go to college, well, you know, nowadays, even those that go to college learn how to be sofrim, learn how to be, you know, teachers. There's professions also besides. So this was the Baruch. So this was this. I've seen many people that with time, it just questions how long. With time, they become working in Kodesh. They could be a Rabbi in yeshiva. They could be working, and nowadays there's many approaches also.
Yeah, so that's considered the skill then.
Yeah, exactly.
Teaching.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. So teaching.
That's what I guess.
Yes.
That's what they go by.
Yeah, you could teach, but today also there are other.
Is a skill.
Yeah, it's a skill. There could be also today people learn Kolen, but also learn how to be a sofer. They write mezuzot, megilot. ketubot.
Twisted, yeah.
They can write, certain things. People that also do Brit Milas, they could be other matters. Even though Brit Milah, people used to do it as a gift, But, people would give gifts.
For
But,
me, Yechidim go into this.
Right.
Mila is also hard. You have to get training.
right. But you could be employed in Kodesh. Okay, so just to summarize, certain things, responsibilities of the father to do Brit Milah, to redeem the son, if he's a firstborn, to teach him Torah, to marry him off, to teach him a craft, or even a business according to Tanakh Kama, Rabbi Yehuda, it's craft namash, and to teach him how to swim in water. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen ve'amen.